My name is Tonya Khoury, and this is this week's Acumen Media Report. It's entitled, Sleight of Hand, a Fourth World Magic Trick. Cholera, an acute diarrheal disease that can kill within hours if left untreated. Currently, the death toll is over 20 of our kin and 170 are infected. This is the situation at Hammanskraal. Who turned up in minutes to help the affected? Gift of the givers. They piled in with bottled water and treatment. They didn't point a finger at either the DA or the ANC. They didn't even care that Edwin Soddy is at the heart of this horror. They didn't demand Cholera's Brink to drink a glass of water like the EFF did. They didn't go on TV and tell the world how it was the DA's fault or that it was a historical ANC problem. They just arrived with one intention: to help. That's the good news as you scratch the surface today with me, Tonya Khoury, your host, through this magic show we call the SA Media. If you pay attention to politicians, you'll learn that Solly Msimang from the DA was in charge of the water plant and his administration was given 300 million rand to fix the pending doom. We're also told by the SAHRC that they would monitor the situation closely. And this was when the tenders were raffled out to one lucky winner, Edwin Soddy. Edwin, you may or may not remember, was involved in the asbestos case. Want to know how he got this tender? There were 3 companies in the final pitch, and each and every one of them belonged to him. Edwin has a checkered past. During the asbestos case, all his cars were repossessed. His wife's share alone was worth 20 million rand. Porsches poured out of these residences so faster than we could wise up about a man who creates joint ventures with himself. And here he is again, tendering to our water supply that could kill hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. This story dates back to 2013, so to be fair, both the ANC and the DA are to blame. But unlike Gift of the Givers, nothing got done. Just an orchestra of finger-pointing. Then, as if that were not bad enough, the roller coaster took a turn for the worst. AfriForum said that the Vaal Dam is at risk, and as more areas were tested, it is clear that the water is not drinkable. After taking samples in Parys, they found that the water is filled with E. coli, and that other water samples just show pure sewage in the water. If I remember correctly, and it has been a long time since I was in Johannesburg, but the Vaal Dam basically is Gauteng's water supply. I'm saying this on behalf of the nation. We do not care whose fault it is. Fix it, and fix it today. Have you no shame? Playing political monopoly with the only natural resource that keeps us alive. Fourth world country. We are not a third world country. I've lived in East Africa, in several of those countries, and they have no water infrastructure and no electricity grid to speak of. Yet, what they do have, without a problem, is clean water, in tanks, electricity generators, and high-speed internet. Yes, you have to take a cholera vaccine to go there. Well, to be fair, you need to take a myriad of vaccines like hepatitis A and B, meningitis, rabies, typhoid, yellow fever, and a bucket of malaria pills. And yes, the governments are bought by other countries and are dependent on aid for the same countries who pile on the debt. But you can work, you can drink, you can eat, and you can turn off the lights and surf the net. We wish we were a third world country. Want to see another magic trick? How do you get away from conversations that are difficult, like Hammanskraal, Eskom, and car power ships? Well, you sleight a hand and deliver a rabbit from the hat called Tabu Bester. I'm calling it now. This is it. This story is made up. This is rubbish and not worth your attention. Apparently this week the whole country learned how Tabu finally got a life. No, not a life sentence. He got an ID. Remember that ad, get a life, get an ID? Well, it should be for him, get life, get an ID. But it's not. It's all an illusion, you see. We were told that the person in the Burberry is in fact Thabo Bester because we found his DNA at Baragwanath Hospital. The DNA was from the day he was born. Please, give me a break. We can all see the false bottom in your Houdini escape show. DNA at birth? What rubbish! Magic tricks. Then Dr. Nandi told us she was kidnapped from Tanzania, not arrested. So they put a bag over her head and chucked her on a jet, right? What part of this are we buying, South Africa? Tell me. I'm interested because the more I watch, the more I think if this was a true magic show, I'd have started throwing rotten tomatoes. Just as I was ready to exit the audience, the plot thickened and as a new person entered the fray. Patricia Mashale. This chick says that Cholera is heavily involved in the circus and that he offered a whole bouquet of bribes to the escape team. She fears for her life and that is why she is going public with her information. Sleight of hand. Show the government that we will not be played and turn off this rubbish. The repo rate went up and the rand plummeted, so we're at an all-time low against the dollar. What have we done as a nation to fix this? Well, we did do something this week. Are you ready? Abracadabra. We changed Wikipedia content by renaming Eskom to Mega Gravy Train Park and Lutuli House to Loot Freely House. How much do you want to bet that it was the DA who did that? Go on, I'll take your money. Hocus pocus. Then Thabo Mbeki dropped files in Guinea during his Africa Day address. When questioned by the journalist about our electricity crisis, he said that it doesn't take 19 years to build a power plant, and that we should understand that someone doesn't want the power plant to be built. This is deliberate. He also said we cannot and will not arrest Putin. He also laughed off thoughts that our fourth world country would be arming Mother Russia. It is the first time I really started to think about Lady Ra and the allegations that we sold a load of weapons to Russia. We can't keep a glass of water clean. And Denel was dead 10 years ago. I don't think they've even paid salaries since then. I'm not sure what was on that ship. Perhaps it was our coal. That would make more sense. We're really good at exporting coal. Top trick. I have to speed up now, and I'm acutely aware that I have not stepped into satire again in this weekly report, so let's try and cheer you up. Pick a card, any card. Durator, the ace of spades. He was fun this week. He was told in no uncertain terms that he must name the minister and senior politician that he blathered about at the ENCA interview. Yeah, ne? Your invisible cloak is about to become threadbare. As we were focused on our lack of electricity, you may have missed it, but car power ships have lined up across our coastline. Can you see the trick? That was what Puzetface Gwede wanted all along. Then there was the unauthorized biography, B-U-Y, of Herman High Horse Mashaba. Oh, that did make me laugh, especially as I watched the author, Prince Mashele, spin in circles when Clement Manyateles played the magician and asked very uncomfortable questions. Short story. Mashaba paid Mashele 12 million rand to write this unauthorized, in inverted commas, very authorized biography. Jonathan Ball, the publishers, pulled the book after they found out that the author had been paid to write exactly what Mashaba wanted us to read. Still think he's a hero? I told you this guy just looks down on us as if we were a dumb audience who can't see the casino up his sleeve. There were other stories and I'm about to run out of words. Still no justice for the victims of Life Esidimeni, 77 million rand in legal fees and not a single arrest. Kutrada Foundation put Jumping John Steenhuisen in his place when he tried to lay claim to Uncle Kathy's words and thoughts. The foundation basically said, hands off Uncle Kathy. They did better than that, actually. They're having a meeting tomorrow, and you're all invited on a plot to save South Africa. There was a tender for Xboxes. I don't make these things up. NSFAS students protested over funding issues, and Madame Wakubani found legal counsel. They will probably argue that they don't know what the hell is going on and will be here until her tenure finishes in November. The magician here is so transparent. Across the seas, Elon kissed a robot, or did he play with AI tools? He is a tool, though, that's for sure, isn't he? TikTok was banned in Montana, and the queen of rock and roll passed on after a long battle with ill health. Tina Turner, thank you for your playlist of belter tunes that you gave us, the entertainment that was breathtaking on stage, and your wise words of wisdom through a more often than not very difficult life. Let's end with this from the Queen herself. At every moment, we always have a choice, even if it feels as if we don't. Sometimes that choice may be simply to think a more positive thought. I'm Tonya Khoury. Thank you for joining the greatest show on earth. Well, you know what I mean. Think positive.